we ask our Grand Sheikh and the saints for their permission. It's a sign of good manners to ask the great ones for their permission, the divine powers, the stations, and the representatives of the heaven of the divine presence. By asking for permission, in that moment we entered, we had the access to enter. As if you put in a password into your computer. You type in some signs and that computer's giving you access and you got inside. If you don't, the Lord of the creation, of the worlds and all souls, of all creatures, if you don't ask Him for permission, how else do you want to get permission by Him? How do you want to get His blessing? And that He actually listened to you and gave you permission. A computer, you can't even do it with a computer to do. If you, after you entered the code, as without the code and the password, you have no access even to your safe. If you truly have something to hide and look out for a treasure, you have to code it so that not everybody can get inside. But those who have permission, that have an access and a password to it, to that program, will get inside. Only those can enter. Or how else can I get into your computer? There is probably only for you. And only you have access, not for me. That's why you have a code to it. And so you have the password code to it, you have access. And just like that, in the divine presence, how do you imagine the divine presence? That is the presence of the true treasure, eternal wealth, eternal life, eternal time and life. Everything is in that presence. And do you think it's so easy to access? You have to know the password to it. And the saints, the prophets, they all have their own passwords. And they can enter and leave. And usually they enter and they don't want to leave because they shine from there. They appear from there. They are inside. And then they appear from there to us. If you call them, they will appear, just like the sun. If you open the curtains of the windows and you open the window, the rays of the sun come inside, but the sun is still up there. And that's what the saints are. Those who got to find that password and actually got the permission to do so, to enter the divine presence. They would be crazy to leave once they've entered, because they don't want to leave it. They don't want to leave. They don't want to leave that. Most of the saints, they don't even appear from there because they stay there and they want to be left alone. Left alone from all of us. Only those really great ones, the strong saints, that have strong nerves for us, for all of our small ones, they appear to us from there. Not all saints. Even though there are saints, not all have the nerves and don't feel like it to take care of us. Only strong saints come back with their light and want to enlighten us and support us, help us, that we shall get out of our darkness. And like that, Destuya Sayyidi Medit, that's the password you have access. And only then, if you say it with a true and sincere heart, it will work. There are many that try to get the decode of your password. Destuya doesn't work because your sincerity is not there. It's not up to it. Sincerity is important. Many can sit here and say this too, but they're only asking for themselves and they can't get inside. And they can't get inside the divine presence. And you can't enter and nothing gets out. That's why we need, when we say in His name, and when we walk in His name, move in His name, and try to do something, we have to ask Him for permission. That's a sign of good manners. If you want to enter and have access to your computer, my brother, you enter a password, don't you? So what kind of action is that? You ask your computer for permission. Your password is actually, and you ask for permission. Can I enter? It's me, Goldfish, brother, your brother. Do you know me? Yes. Goldfish, it's me. Okay, I will even type it, Goldfish. Okay, if it's you, come on in. The computer gives you permission to enter. But if you type in a wrong password, you can't enter. And those with wrong passwords are stupid, ignorant, and idiots. And crazy ones, the craziest and stupids, there is no entrance. Destuya Sayyidi Medit la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. We ask for permission to say something. From where? Out of the divine presence. Only the knowledge of the divine presence can help us and be useful to us. No other knowledge outside the divine presence can be useful to us. That's why. Why not? Because everything outside the divine presence is only an appearance. It does, but it's not the truth. Outside the divine presence, everything is just appearance, just a shine. It's no reality. It's just imagination. And people say, we are science, and we ask you, oh, I'm researching the ants and where its stomach is, in the front or in the back. We are researching what, like 2,000 years ago, how did they live? How did people live? What's your business? What's the use of that? Oh, we found something like stones of 2,000 years ago, but the whole world is over millions of years old, and this is supposed to be profound, and you're already living in a museum, and you're walking, running behind stones. Oh, I found the head of Pharaoh. It's 3,000 years old. That's the head of the Pharaoh, or just a picture made of stone, made in stone. It's a waste of time. In Islam, the Ottomans could have done it. They lived here for a thousand of years. The Sahabas, before that, the Seljuks and the Sahabas, but they could have done that, but they didn't. Inside Islam, you won't find any archaeologists. They lived in their huts But then when they went to Egypt, they lived in the huts, but they didn't mind the pyramids. Where are you looking for a door? Do you want to be buried there as well? But I need to get inside. You are the pyramid of the Lord. Go inside yourself. You are the pyramid of God. I'm a pyramid? Yes, yes. Stretch out your legs. And then you'll see. If not, if you keep it straight, you're just Aleph. The human is the letter Aleph, the letter of God. That is from Allah. Aleph. Come on, get up, brother. He is very original. Aleph, he looks like Aleph. And the letter B is another brother. That brother looks like the letter Aleph. And so, come on, now look, the human being, what a secret. Allah says, the human is my secret. And the human himself, he created as the letter Aleph. Isn't it true? He created the human as Aleph, straight, going up, straight up. And once he stretches his legs, he is the pyramid of God. He is a representative of God, the image of God on earth. He only has to accept that, see it, and be it. How can I get there? As by entering the divine presence. If he is non-stop in the divine presence, he will have made it. All of his actions, all of his movements is from him. Why do we need the Sheikh? He is Aleph of God. He is the representative of the divine presence. If you're with him, you are in the divine presence. As if. And that is why 1 hour with a Sheikh is like 700 years of prayers. You don't have quite the same level of blessing. So why not? Because every prayer is for you to get inside the divine presence, to enter in paradise. We don't need to pray. In the divine presence, we don't need to pray to anybody. We are with him. We don't need to pray to him. We are his friends. We are all kings. Adame Kubriya, the highest form of vanity and sublimity, is only for Allah the Almighty. And those who could enter into his divine presence, but not his paradise. It's not easy, but also not so hard to get into that. Paradise is for the simple people. Home to the simple people. To the normal people. Divine presence is only the VIPs. Very important persons. And they enter sublime. There is no servant. In the divine presence, the sirs, the gentlemen. Usually the German I don't like, but now I like it. They are with the lords. There is the Lord and the sirs. And the Lord is talking to us. He is talking to us at his table, the eternal table of nights. The table of the nights that got to go there to surrender their dragons and to conquer the dragons. But those are the knights of God. And they have a table, they have a seat, and the Lord is talking to them and welcomes them. Oh, my sirs, my gentlemen. Do you know that word? So who calls whom a gentleman? For what reason? Aren't you the one who's really intellectual? Tell us.
Früher hat man gesagt, ich war bei den Herrschaften, also ich war bei den Hausherren.
You say, oh, you gentlemen. Where do you say those words? I heard, oh, you gentlemen. It's a very old version. They say it's for honorable people and for the nobility. So, it's not the normal people are called gentlemen. That's the reason behind. Not the normal people. Did you finish school, high school? No. He's talking to a girl. My gentlemen, that's how the Lord will address his knights, not my servants. That's over with. It's only for this here. Even in paradise, there are no servants. There's only the people. The people of God, no servants of God. The servitude is only for this life, in this world, and is wanted in this life. Only for the 3 days here, servitude is wanted. But from here on, either you're being banned as a bad servant forever, damned, or you're in paradise as part of the people of God forever. And that is the normal people that somehow got to enter paradise because they were believers. But the other ones that fought against the dragons and conquered the dragons, and mostly their own dragons, they will be named Knights of the God. And they have a seat at the table of God, and that's their place. Their seat. With one foot they are in paradise with the normal people, because knights do that. They're between the king and the normal people, right? They are representatives of the Lord, the King, with the people, and they're also with the King. They have a seat with him. So with one foot they are in paradise, and with the main foot they are at the table of God. And Allah is talking to them, addressing them directly. Oh, my gentlemen, my sirs. And Maulana Sheikh Nazim said himself, Adamat al-Kubriya is only for this. As for the awliya is forbidden. They dress it already, but they are humble servants because they are still in this world. They don't want to know anything about that clothes, about this sublimity, the dress of sublimity. Allah already gave them and dressed them, but now we are still bowing to them because they're already dressed with the clothes of sublimity. Divine sublimity, that's why we show respect to them, and that's we were pulled and pushed by them, because they are dressed in that way, and we feel that power with the dress of the divine sublimity, but they themselves as humble, because it's not the place for them to praise themselves with that dress. They don't have to, they don't want to do that for themselves. The gentlemen know where they are standing in front of. Even if the king is addressing them, my gentlemen, those gentlemen know who the Lord is, who the true gentleman, because they will never forget that. They will always keep that invisible, fine barrier, because those are the good manners. And they will never leave the decency and good manners and cross that barrier. And it's very important to know. They are not buddies with him. Oh, come on, my buddy. It's not like that. The Lord and his gentlemen and sirs, but never the title servant. They are the gentlemen and being served like the Lord himself at the table of the king and his guests and knights. And just like the Lord is being served, the gentleman will also be served with no difference. And what he's eating, they will be eating as well. What he is getting, they will get as well. There's no separation. The Lord and his gentlemen and us, we have to decide, and now we need to know and fill in an application, and after application we have to fulfill all that's needed. Germany was asking me, please urge me, be part of ours, become one of us, be a German. And then I thought, okay, why not? And then they sent me a contract. But you have to fulfill all the requirements to become one. So, what do we want? Do we want to be the people of paradise? The people of God in paradise? As paradise is the garden of the palace, and you will never, the people of God, which are the people of paradise, will never, never enter paradise. They will always look from outside and see the paradise of the king and never know what's happening inside. The knights of God will do. The gentlemen, they can enter and leave, enter and leave. So what do you want? Easy way? Paradise is enough? Okay. We are very humble, yes, okay. We don't know, have to every day have to fight against our ego, the dragons. It's too much work. Or no, it's about eternity. I also want to enter the palace and I want to see what's happening there. I also want to sit at the table of the Lord. And then, well, you have to do some more work. You have to try to and try to aim for something big, and that's why you have to prepare yourself. Do you want to be part of the normal people, or do you want to be one of those of the sirs and knights? Ego, of course, wants to have the highest, but you have to work for it and work against your ego so that your ego in the end will have the luck to be one of the knights, not you. So you at first have to fight against your ego so that your ego shall find happiness and joy. Can you follow? It's very interesting, isn't it? So at first you have to punch your ego in the face so that eventually it will be happy and enjoy a very good life for eternity. So do you want to enter palace? Do you want ego? Do you want to go to palace and be part of the gentleman? Yes, sure, I want to be greatest. So at first, shut up and follow me. May Allah give us good understanding. And that's why for 2 days they let me talk about it so much. Try to always remember where you are and to wish for where you want to be. Do you want to be in the divine presence or not? If so, a darga is the official form as if divine presence and image of the Lord, and the Sheikh is the image of the Lord. Here, if you are 1 hour with a Sheikh, it's equal to 700 years of prayers and doesn't even have come close to that, because prayer only gets you to paradise. But to be with a Sheikh makes you one of the gentlemen and ladies. That's the secret. And Shaitan from everywhere, from all the internet, wants to bring the Muslims to be confused and go crazy. And so why do you need, he asks them, leave it. Don't you have the secret you tell? There's the veil. Take it. And then you will have the same. Knowledge is everywhere. But it's about the divine presence. That's the secret. And the Sheikh is the representative of the divine presence. Who is with him is in the divine presence. Do you really think that your prayers, of course they're important, you have to pray, very important, and take it seriously. If there's Izan, take everything aside and go pray. That's an order from above and from me. So we have to take it seriously. But prayer will only get you to paradise. That's your duty. It's an order by the Lord for you to pray, a different thing. But to go further, tariqat gets you into the divine presence, and that is the Sheikh. That's what tariqat is for. Because everything else, Sharia only gets you to paradise through your prayers. Yes, but do you only want to stay there forever, or do you want to get into palace, into the king? Then follow tariqah. Tariqah is the symbol for the divine presence, and the Sheikh is symbol for the Lord. Who is with him is one of his gentlemen and ladies. So let's say about Sheikh Nazim and Sheikh Mehmet Adel, he has so many vikils, so many representatives. And the vikils also have to be paid respect, just like the Sheikh does, right? The representative of the Sheikh, why do we need to do that? They are the shadow beings of the Sheikh. They are the shadow, the true vakils who are really paying attention and not just doing zikr, but true vakils. They have a connection with the heart and being guided by the light of the Sheikh. Why are they being paid respect like the Sheikh, and hands and feet are being kissed? Because they are one of the gentlemen. If the Sheikh is the Lord, his vakils are the gentlemen, the sirs. And now it's opening. And now may we have understood. Who understood will have understood. So clear and openly, we can't go on, but we could open more, but you can't. May Allah forgive us and bless you. Al-Fatiha.